can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat, Sleep, Boxing, Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's me, Niall. Delighted as always to be joined by Owen, and we're here in final prediction mode for an interesting late replacement fight for this weekend stack card in Birmingham, as Peter McGrail now faces the very tricky Ionut Baluta at featherweight. Yeah, part of a huge card. You've got Conor Walker, Liam Taylor, of course. You've got Yafai Rodriguez in the main event. This is one I'm really looking forward to, and yeah, of course. McGrail originally due to face Shabazz Masood in what would have been a fantastic domestic fight, but I suppose as late replacements go, we've seen Ina Beluta spoil the party before. So yeah, Owen, let's jump straight in. I hope you're well. As always, what is your final prediction for this one? Peter McGrail now facing Ina Beluta. What do you think? Does he get it done?
Thank you for having me on as always. Yeah, I think he gets it done with ease. Straight in with this one. I think McGrail's going to stop him. Ionut Baluta was the boogeyman at one point. He's almost the king of stepping in now. You know, he's built himself a career almost on these shores. You know, he beat Brad Foster, obviously after the Mick Conlan loss, and then obviously he had that draw with Dennis McCann. Technical draw. He beat Andrew Kane. He beat Brad Strand. You know, that first, I thought he looked brilliant in that first Dennis McCann fight as well to prove he is a bit of a boogeyman. I just think McGrail is going to be too slick, too sharp, too good in every department. You know, I've watched Baluta live. I watched him when he beat Andrew Kane, and Andrew Kane fought the perfect fight for him, dropped him early, and saw like a bull in a china shop. Just went mental, steamed in, and Baluta lapped it up and beat him. I think Baluta won't get anywhere near Peter McGrail. I think Baluta will try and make it messy, try and make it, you know, a bit of a dogfight. And I think McGrail's just going to be too good. And I think he'll stop him around round 8, round 9, around that mark.
Very interesting. That has surprised me, to be honest with you, and I think it will surprise a few people that not that you're going for a McGrail win, that you're going for the stoppage. That is very interesting. Of course, Baluta hasn't been stopped before, so you know it would be a bit of a statement. I have to say if Peter McGrail stops Baluta, but I do agree that he gets it done. And what you said there, he just should be levels above. Beluta, too slick, too versatile, too strong. I'm going for a points win for Peter McGrail myself. It would surprise me if he stopped Baluta, but yeah, I think he should get it done with minimum fuss. But you know, Baluta is a name that kind of that'll scare a few British fighters and fight fans. You reeled off the names he's beaten there. You know, top domestic British names. He's broken Irish hearts before. He's beaten, you know, TJ Dehenny, David Oliver Joyce. Gave Mick Conlan a hell of a fight as well. So yeah, he definitely put shivers down Irish spines. But yeah, I think Peter McGrail should definitely get it done. But Baluta, you know, he'll try to make it awkward. He'll try to be slippery as usual. He'll come to win. But yeah, there's levels to it. And Baluta is not on McGrail's level. He shouldn't be anyway. And he doesn't have the power either to kind of clip him like you know, like an O'Quinn did to knock him out. Baluta, not a big puncher at all. So yeah, I think he should win on points in my opinion with minimum fuss. But yeah, that's our final predictions. Just to kind of wrap up, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. Well, a couple of names I'm going to throw at you. You might know what's coming. It was originally meant to be McGrail Masood. First of all, I want to know how you think that one would have went, and then second of all, you know, there was also another big fight in the pipeline for McGrail against Dennis McCann. You know,
Yeah.
say what you want about McCann, that might be for another video, but how do you think McGrail gets on against Masood and McCann if it was to happen?
Um, I was backing him to beat Dennis McCann. The more I thought about it stylistically, previous performances, etc., the closer it got to the fight, the more I was swaying towards Peter McGrail. Um, I don't look into that Jay Rico, however you say it, Quinn loss. You know, McGrail dropped him in the second, dropped him in the fourth. He was absolutely cruising. and probably got a bit complacent after dropping him in 2 separate rounds. Absolutely cruising on the cards, got complacent, and that's what happened. That's boxing. I think, there's too many people that have padded records and protecting of their O's. And I almost think losing that's probably a good thing in a sense, but not necessarily good. But in terms of his career, it's not necessarily a bad thing. So I was backing him to beat Dennis McCann. And I was edging towards him beating Shabazz Masood. Thought Masood was the fight with Liam Davis was a brilliant fight. Didn't see it as close as it was. I had Masood winning. The split decision was a bit interesting for me. Technically, great fight. Probably not one that would appeal to the casual, who wants to see big knockouts and wars and scraps like your Conor Walkers on the card. But technically, a great fight. Still one I want to see. I'd argue I'd want to see Masood McGrail over McGrail McCann stylistically, but I think I'd back McGrail to beat them both. I really think he can go on to be a world champion.
It's hard to argue with that, with what you said. I think McGrail is quality. It's so disappointing because there were 2 fights that I was really looking forward to. The McCann fight, first of all, was probably the fight I was most looking forward to outside the main event on that huge card. He had a good win there, McGrail, against another late stand-in. And then, the Shabazz Masood fight, I think Masood is quality, coming off a fantastic win against Liam Davis. I think that Davis win is going to age. It's already a great win. I think it's going to age even better, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, so disappointing. But hopefully he gets to run at least one or both of them back eventually. If he gets past Baluta, McGrail Masood should be next. And yeah, I would edge McGrail against both of them. Yeah, just too slick, too sharp, too quick, I think. And yeah, as you say, I can't really look into the O'Quinn fight too much. The loss, he got massively complacent. That happens. And I don't think, we'd see the true after effects of that until he faced a big puncher who could kind of crack that chin again. And, Masood or McCann aren't huge punchers, but they're both phenomenal domestic fights. So I really hope that they both happen. At least one of them, but preferably both. So yeah, Dennis McCann has a lot to kind of clear up maybe, and before that happens, but we could get McGrail Masood soon, hopefully. But yeah, that was our final prediction, myself and Owen, for this weekend's interesting late replacement fight for Pete McGrail as he faces the dangerous former kind of bogeyman Ionut Beluta in Birmingham as a replacement for Shabazz Masood across a big card. We mentioned the fights, Conor Walker, Liam Taylor, Galalia Five, Francisco Rodriguez in the main event. A really interesting card, and one myself and Owen are both looking forward to. So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with our final predictions for this one? Are you going with a McGrail win, or do you think Beluta can spoil the party once again like he's done plenty of times before? Let us know what you think. And as always, don't forget, we'd really appreciate it if you could drop a like on the video first of all, subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing, and follow us on all social media. Owen, it was a pleasure, and take care.
Cheers as always, mate.